Hello everyone, DirtyBarry here, and today we're going to be making a new project. So this is going to be a tap and die follower, so it'll be basically the same as this one here. So it's spring loaded, so you clamp this end in your drill chuck, and this end goes into the back of your centre drilled tap, spring loaded, and it will follow your tap in, so you never have to adjust your tailstock as you're working. So I've got a drawing here. There's a few dimensions on here that aren't correct, so we're changing the slot width from 2.5mm to 3mm, as well as the pin will be 3mm. So the features that we're going to be making is we're going to make the main body, so that's going to have a centre drilled hole that is 10mm diameter, and then we're going to have a slot that we'll mill using a lathe, drill a hole the whole way through the centre, and that will allow us to extract the locking pin if we ever need to. So there's a drive pin here, or locking pin, slide pin, and we want to have a hole in the back side so that we can remove it if we need to disassemble it in the future. So once we've made the main body, we're going to work with the follower. So for the follower, we're going to start with just a random piece of scrap steel, turn it down to approximately 10mm, make it slightly smaller so that it will slide, drill a hole down the centre, and then we will make the end, so that's going to be a 60-degree angle on here, and it'll be 20mm long sticking out. We might even make a die follower if I find a piece of stock laying around. And for the spring, I just had a random tension spring that I stretched out, and that will work quite well as a compression spring. So I'll set the lathe up and I'll see you again in a minute. Right, so I've got the right hand turning tool set up, and we've got a carbide centering drill, not carbide. So the first operation is going to be facing and centre drilling. So for the centre hole, we want to have a 95mm deep hole. That's 10mm diameter. I'm going to start going as deep as I can with a 6.5mm drill. That way we'll put a bit less load on the 10mm drill. So I've changed over to a 10mm drill bit now. The 10mm drill bit sticks out 97mm from the end of the chuck, so I'll go full depth and then remove 2mm in a facing cut from the work. So I've drilled the hole and the work is currently sticking out 18mm, so I'll take 2mm off and that will bring me down to 16mm sticking out, and that will make the hole 95mm deep. In order to make 2mm deep facing cut, I've just set up a DTI, it goes onto the back of the tool post. So I've set it at 0 where it's just touched off. So I just put a nice chamfer on the edge as I was pulling the tool away after the final pass. So yeah. So I've faced it off to the 100mm length, and now I've set a workpiece up in a tool post or tool holder, and I've set a 3mm end mill in the chuck, and I have squared the tool post to the carriage using a dial indicator. So as you can see, is a square. So now I'm going to make a cut by doing a slot. So for marking out the slot, I marked one line at 20mm from the end and one line at 55mm from the end. So this will allow us to create the full slot. Now before removing the work from the tool post, I'm going to drill straight through for the removal pinhole. And also another note is when you're clamping these in your tool post, make sure not to do up the grub screws too tight or you will damage this because it has a thin wall. So now that we've completed the body portion, we are going to start by turning the rough stock for the tap follower portion. So I'll bring that down to size and I'll get back to you. It's quite a simple turning operation. Right, so we've got the main shank down to size and we've got it to length 60mm. It's fitting over, well, within the body. It's a little bit loose for my liking, but it should be good. So now I'm going to turn it around and finish the details on it, and then after that we'll mount it in the tool post and cross drill a hole. So I've got the item turned around in the chuck now, and I'm going to turn the first 20mm down to 6mm diameter. So what I've done is I've marked on the bed with the yellow paint where it is at 20mm because I don't have a bed stop. So I'll cut that down now, then I'll get back to you for cutting the angle to. So I've got compound set to make an angle of 60 degrees, and now we're just going to do cuts. While I was setting up the tool post, I did make sure to clock it up so it's perfectly perpendicular to the bed, and it will allow me to easily transfer this over directly to do the cross drilling without having to reset the tool post again. So I'll cut the angle now. So we've got the tap follower mounted in the tool post again. So we've had to reset the centre height because this is 10mm diameter versus the original 12mm. So we've set up 1mm. So we're going to centre mark the hole, and then we're going to drill through a 3mm, and then we will essentially be almost done. I've got these 3 parts, and I've also got a little small pin in my pocket. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends off of the spring, we're going to assemble it, we're going to Loctite the pin in place, and then we'll be done. So here's the essentially finished tool. The Loctite still has to cure, and I'll probably give it a bit of a polish. But yeah, it's essentially done. Now I don't have a need for a second one of these, so if anyone who's watching wants it, just leave a comment and I'll pick someone to send it to. Awesome.